The next thing I'd like to take a look at is something that's not actually covered in the textbook, nor are there any questions about it within the textbook. And that's the concept of using Excel to create a budget. So what I've done is I've created an Excel worksheet here, which has some information already filled into it. And we're going to use this information to complete the yearly budget for whoever this person is. So we've got some monthly information and we've got some weekly information. And what we need to do is turn all of that information into yearly totals, and then we can find the balance. So that means how much money's left over at the end of the year for extra things, whether that's luxury purchases, or maybe they just keep it aside for savings or emergency purchases. And now we've also added a percentages column here. So we'll be able to use Excel to turn things into a yearly total and then also find out what percentage of the total expenses does clothing represent, for example, or what percentage of the total income does part-time pay represent. So let's start with our incomes here. We want to find the yearly totals for both the full-time pay and the part-time pay for this person, and then we can find what the total is therefore by adding them together. So we'll be looking at some Excel shortcuts and some tricks. Instead of just manually calculating everything, Excel can do a lot of the work for us. So this is per year, and I want to turn the $2,000 per month into a yearly total. So what I need to do is I type in equals to start a mathematical formula off, and then what I want is this cell here, so I click on it, and I want that multiplied by 12. So I use an asterisk for multiply, and I type in 12. And then when I hit enter, the answer will be filled in for me. Now, it would be nice if I could just drag this formula down and have it finish the rest of it off for me, but we can't actually do that because here in this row, I had a monthly income, but now I've got a weekly income. So the formula I need is actually different because here I need equals and then the $75 per week, asterisk for multiplication, but now I need to multiply by 52 for 52 weeks in a year. So once I do that, I find that the full-time pay is $24,000 per year and the part-time pay is only $3,900 per year. So now we'll use the sum feature to work out what is the total income for the year. So I press equals and then a capital SUM for the sum command in Excel. So this is one of the formulas that we have access to in Excel that hopefully you've worked with, but if you haven't, you should be able to pick it up from here. So I type in capital SUM and then I open some brackets. So when I write a formula or a command in Excel and then open some brackets, whatever goes in the brackets are the inputs for the command. So the things I want to sum. So in this case, I want to sum 24,000 and 3,900. So I just highlight both of those cells. All right, so I've highlighted both of those cells and now I can put an end bracket there and press enter. So now Excel has done the calculation for me. It's added those two numbers together and found the total income for the year for this person is $27,900. So now I want to work out the expenses. I need to get all of those to yearly totals. So my rent, I'm doing this the same process as I did for incomes. My rent is an expense and it's $450 per month. So I write equals, press on that cell, and then I multiply by 12 to turn it into a yearly total. Again, I can't drag that formula down because some of them are monthly and some of them are weekly, sorry. So now for this car expenses, I have to do 25 times 52. So I pressed on the cell and multiplied it by 52 because 25 is a weekly and I needed a yearly. Now here I've got a car loan repayment and it's $350 and I'll multiply that by 12 because it's a monthly. My clothing is also monthly, so I press on that and I multiply by 12. My eating out is weekly, so I press on it and I multiply by 52. Oops, sorry. I need an asterisk for multiply and then I type 52 and press enter. Entertainment is monthly, so let's multiply that by 12. And my other expenses here are weekly, so let's multiply by 52. Finally, my savings is monthly, so let's press equals, press on the tab, on the cell, sorry, and then multiply by 12. So those are all of my expenses and yearly totals. So for example, I spend $5,400 on rent per year. Now my total expenses, I need to use the sum command once again to total those. So I type in capital SUM, open the brackets up, grab all of the cells, and then I can just press enter. And it's calculated the total expenses there. So that means this person is spending $24,950 per year on the various expenses. So rent, car expenses, car loan, clothing, etc. Now, like we saw in the PowerPoint slide in our theory video, the balance is equal to the the total amounts of income, so this number here, minus the total amount of expenses, so this number here. And what I get for that is $2,950. So that means per year, this person has $2,950 that they've earned but have not spent over the course of the year. Or put into savings, for example, because they've got some savings that they're taking account of as well. This person earns $27,900 and they spend $24,950. So overall, they have $2,950 left over. Now let's just work out our percentages. So we can work out how much of their income is made up by the full-time pay. So I express as a fraction, so 24,000 divided by 27,900, and I'm pressing on the cells rather than typing those numbers in, and then I times by 100. Now this formula here, I actually can drag it down to do the rest of the calculations for me, because all of them will be the same. It'll be the number in the per year column divided by the number at the total, okay? And here we see there's an error. So that error there, it was caused because when I drag a formula down, what it does is it tries to grab the E5 cell and drag it down one. So that's what I want. Now here, I want to be 3,900 divided by this. But then it's also dragging the E7 one down. So it's looking at the 27,900 number, but then going one below it. So we can see that's the case here. It says E6 divided by E8. So it moved the blue box to the right place, but the red box, I didn't want it to move at all. So let's fix that up. I click on this cell here, and to make sure the E7 box doesn't move, what I need to do is add a $sign in front of the E and a $sign in front of the 7. So the $sign means don't move this cell when the formula is dragged down. So now when I press enter, I can drag that formula down once again, and it's now correct. So 86.02% is the full-time pay, and 13.98% is the part-time pay. So let's do that same process here, and we'll get it right the first time now. So I can press equals, and then the $5,400 divided by the 24,950 times 100%. But remember, I don't want the E17 box, I don't want total expenses to move at all. So I need a $sign there and a $sign there in front of both the letter and the number. So that means 21.64% of this person's expenses are devoted to rent. So let's drag that all the way down now, and we can see all of the different expenses here. So for example, we might be interested, what percentage of my income am I spending on entertainment? And it turns out this person's spending 16.83% of their income on entertainment. Now, depending on the person, they might decide that's too much, and they might want to change that. So the great thing about Excel is after I've created my budget like this, I can actually mess with individual numbers and see how that changes my yearly total. Because I've done all automated calculations, Excel will be able to update everything for me immediately. So for example, instead of spending $350 per month on entertainment, I might decide I can cut it down to just $200. So if I change that number there and press enter, everything's been updated for me straight away. So now entertainment only makes up 10.37% of my budget. And it turns out per year, I've got an extra, I don't have an extra, but I've ended up with $4,750 per year as my balance. So by messing with individual things here, if I've done my Excel spreadsheet correctly, I can actually change this balance quite easily. So I can decide maybe I spend too much on this, or maybe I don't spend enough on something else, and I can update it really quickly using Excel. So that's the end of my Excel tips for budgeting for now. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. This is Mr. Gallagher speaking, by the way. Thank you very much.